Hi everybody, welcome back to Write to the Top. I'm Adam. In today's video, I want to give you a writing tip, a top tip for writing. We're going to talk about precision and concision. And one of the features of strong, good writing is the ability to use fewer words to say more. Fewer words helps the reader, helps the writer get clarity of thought, etc. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to give you 7 verbs to show you what I mean by concision, okay? Obviously, there are many more than 7. I'm just going to take 7 as a sample. I'll make another video for 7 nouns and 7 adjectives as well, but let's start with these examples. Now, first, what does it mean to be concise? Or what is concision? To be concise means to be brief, short, to use as few words as absolutely necessary. So a lot of people, they want to explain an idea, and they start using a lot of words to make one point clear. The more vocabulary you have, the less or the fewer words you're going to need to explain that idea or to deliver that message. So concision is a very important tool. And it's, if those of you taking the IELTS or TOEFL exams, this is one of the things they're actually looking for, to see how you can be concise and how you use language precisely, both in terms of vocabulary and grammar. Now, the benefits of using precision and using concision is that, one, it promotes precision. So being precise means being concise. Being concise means being precise. And precise means exact. So you're focusing right on the idea you want to focus on. And this, of course, helps you have clarity of thought. The more focused your language, the more focused the idea. Right? So the more focused you think about the language as you're writing something, you're also clearing your mind in terms of what you want to say. So this has a lot of benefits, not only for exams, but any writing you do, even emails, resumes, applications, etc. Of course, by being precise and concise, you're also helping deliver the message more directly. So the reader knows exactly what you're trying to say without getting lost in all the words you might be using to deliver that message, which of course improves readability. The fewer words a person has to read and get the message, the easier it is to digest that message. Of course, it also helps you work on your style. Having more vocabulary, having more ability to be precise lets you play with the language a little bit more and make the reading a little bit more interesting. Not only easier, but more interesting as well. And it also lets you control the pace. If you want the reading to go fast, you use certain words and certain structures. If you want to slow it down, other words will do that as well. And of course, for those of you who have to think about a word count, for example, on the IELTS or TOEFL exam, or if you're submitting a personal statement to a university and they give you a word limit, you have to get a lot of information in fewer words. These kinds of vocabulary tools will help you do that. So let's start with some examples. Empathize. Empathize is a very commonly used word, actually, but it's a very good word because it lets you have an idea without using all the words to explain the idea. And the key feature of precision and concision is avoiding the dictionary meanings of words. So for example, to empathize, or very commonly used with the preposition with, to empathize with someone means to understand or be sensitive to that person's feelings and thoughts. Now, instead of explaining, understand, or be sensitive to someone's feelings and thoughts in your sentence, you can just use that one word. Why use 5 words when 1 or 2 words are enough? A good teacher's most essential quality is her ability to understand what her students are feeling and to help them overcome difficulties. I can shrink that by saying a good teacher's most essential quality is her ability to empathize with her students and help them overcome difficulties. So now you're thinking, okay, you went from 22 words to 19 words. What's the big deal? This is one sentence. Imagine a whole essay where you're cutting 2 words here, 4 words there, 2 words there. Over the whole essay, you can reduce the number of words by like 100 words that's a big deal. It makes it much easier for the person reading it to get through it and not get bored along the way, not get lost along the way, okay? So that's one word. And you'll see some of them will have much bigger cuts. To exploit means to take advantage of or to make good use of or the best use of something. A government's duty is to recognize and make the best use of its resources to help its citizens. A government's duty is to recognize and exploit its resources to help its citizens. So a government realizes that they have a lot of oil, for example. That's a resource in this part of the country. They want to exploit this by getting it out of the ground and making gas cheaper for its citizens, or not importing from other countries and paying higher prices, etc. Keep in mind, exploit can be to take advantage of, can be both positive and negative. You can exploit someone's weakness. You can take advantage of their weakness as well. To impair means to make weak or to lose ability in doing something. So not only does alcohol harm one's liver, it also makes one lose his ability to think clearly. Not only does alcohol harm one's liver, it also impairs one's cognition. Now you'll notice here that I actually made two changes. I used impair to get rid of make one lose his ability, and ability to think clearly I replaced with cognition. So these precision words are not limited to verbs. There's also nouns and adjectives and even expressions that you can use to replace words. And now I've cut out 5 words from this sentence, and it has a much more impact on the reader. It has much more impact on the reader. Reciprocate. Reciprocate is an excellent word, and as you can see, the definition is a little bit longer. So to reciprocate is to do something, the same thing to someone that they did to you or for you, or to give someone something that they gave to you. It doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but it has to be of equal value or an equal action, etc. If a friend helps you through difficult times, you should do the same for him or her when they face difficulties. So I don't need to say difficulties twice. I don't need to have all these extra words, him, her, I, you. Just get right to the point. If a friend helps you through difficult times, you should reciprocate. Means the exact same thing. And notice I've cut 10 words out of this particular sentence. You have a few of these sentences in a paragraph, you can make a much tighter, clearer paragraph, right? So it's much better writing overall. Okay, so far so good. Validate. To validate means to show that something has been checked or proven or confirmed correct, and by somebody else who has that power to do so, right? Scientific research is never accepted until it has been reviewed by others in the field and confirmed correct and or accurate. Scientific research is never accepted until it has been validated by others in the field. And you notice the pace, the sentence reads much quicker, and it means you can connect it to the next sentence much reader, and that's how you control your pace. Longer sentences, slow the reading. Shorter sentences, speed up the reading. It again, depends what you want to do, what effect you want to have on the reader as well. Replicate means to copy, but not exactly like copy someone's test scores, right? You want to replicate their results. If they got an 80 on their test, you want to replicate that result, the 80, or to make or perform in the same thing as someone else, or achieve the same result. That's the most commonly used, common use of this word. Despite studying every element of their competitor's performance, the dance group could never achieve the same style they had. Despite studying every element of the competitor's performance, the dance group could never replicate their style. Get right to the point. They couldn't copy what they did. Right? Very simple, very straightforward. Here I give you a few words. I think I've spoken about this word before in another video. Execute is another way to say to do something. It's a much higher end word. You want to avoid using the words do, make, have, get, and take. This is one way to do that. To put a plan or command into action. To put it into action means to do it. A CEO's job isn't just to plan out the company's future, but to make sure this plan is put into action. 21 words. A CEO's job isn't just to plan out the company's future, but to ensure So I put make sure, 2 words, I squeeze them into 1 word, ensure this plan is executed. Even simpler, and I can cut this almost in half. A CEO's job is to execute his vision for the company's future, right? So the vision includes the idea of plan out and has everything in it that you don't need to use. And that's the key here, getting rid of any word that you don't need, but making sure that you keep the same idea or the same message. And that's where you need precision vocabulary. And the more precise your vocabulary, the better your writing is, the easier for the reader. If you're taking a test, the higher the score, okay? So that's all for today. If you can think of other precision words, please put them in the YouTube comment section and you guys can share with each other. Don't forget to give sample sentences so other people can learn how to use these words. And build your vocabulary. Just build, and how you do it? Read, read, read. I've said it 1,000 times, I will say it 1,000 more, okay? If you have any questions about this video, please feel free to ask in the YouTube comment section and come back for new videos for grammar, writing tips, test tips, etc. See you again soon. Bye-bye.